Today guys, we are looking at something different. Yes, it's a review and it's on a Farish 00 rolling stock. I have reviewed Farish rolling stock in the past at the early start of my channel. Well, back in the 60s and 70s, Farish did a lot of 00 stuff, and this is some of the rolling stock here. So we have teak Lner coaches based on a Southern coach. I can't find a product code for these. I do know they're released in the 60s and 70s, and they are era free, but they are generic. So I thought I would review and show these off, just so people know they're out there, and if they want to buy some they can. They do make a very good base model for projects for people. So let's get into the review and see if they are any good, and should Bagman bring them back. So let's start off with the coach in its Farish or GRAFAR packaging. As you can tell, for the time they were quite colourful. So we have a moulded plastic sleeve on the outside, and on the inside, which the coach sits on, I believe is cardboard, and they are stapled together. That's how the packaging was. There's a few descriptions on the packaging. So we have the branding name, we also have the long coupling hooks, and it also says that they are needle axle bearings as well, and there's a few other bits of writing either side. Yes, the plastic itself is yellow. I believe whoever had these before me was a smoker. 60s, 70s style packaging. A lot of people back then did smoke. We do have this writing which says, "Note, the coach bogie has been reversed to protect the coupling. Just be aware, it's a push fit bearing." So that's a nice touch. At least they warn you in advance if it looks wrong. But yeah, from here it does look quite old, but it also looks quite detailed as well. So next we move on to the ends of the coach, and on every variety of these coaches the ends are the same, from the brake to the corridor first and third. They're all the same moulding. So we do have the square long coupling that Farish used back then. Sort of reminds me of a precursor to the Lner pocket ones, if I'm honest with you, that we got today. But it's square. I have a few that have it and they work wonderful. And this is a long nose pointed coupling as well, and it's attached to the bogie. The buffers and buffer shanks are plastic. We do have a mould line on the buffers. They are in black. Most of it is all one piece, if I'm honest with you. Keep the cost down back then. As we move on up, the gangway itself does have 4 steps either side, moulded on handrail. We also have some electrical stuff wiring side of the door, the gangway. The gangway itself is in black. We do have a moulded on handle. To be fair, the whole face is in black. And then we get to the roof. There's nothing like that is today on today's modern coaches, but it looks the part, if I'm honest with you. As we now move on to the side of the coach, I will just say this is based on a Southern coach from what I've read online, but in a teak finish, so the Lner finish. To me, it doesn't bother me. It's a slightly generic coach, but it doesn't bother me. It does look the part from here, from where I'm looking at it. And this is the composite one, I believe. So we do have a massive plastic glazing bar inside of all the coaches. We also have a gangway, so there's, I think, cardboard or plastic inside to separate from the seating area to the walkway. That's in all the coaches. I can't get the roof off, but the wood finish is great. It looks the part. We do have some lining of gold around some of the panelling, and on this we have a number, which from here I can't see. It should be on the screen now. We also have the classifications, like I think it's first and third. Again, all done in gold. We have a handrail which is moulded on, or hand door which is moulded on. The bogie underneath is basically moulded again, but you can see the axles and springs, and I think it's the spacer between the wheels. Sadly, the wheels are plastic, but you can change them out for metal ones if you wanted to. As we now move on to the first and third brake, again, it's much like the composite one, but around the other side of this, we do have thin windows instead of the big fat ones, and this is where the side the passengers would sit. Again, we have a couple of doors, and above the doors, again on the composites, we also have the molded on vents above the doors, again in the teak. This one being a brake, we do have a area for the guard, and it does say guard on it, I believe, and that's 2 double doors. Again, we have the lining in gold on this teak finish of this Southern coach. Most of it is plastic. Again, we also have a glazing bar as well. As we now do an aerial view on top of the coach, all three of these coaches I have are exactly the same. The roofs are exactly the same. So we have it in a cream or a white with a massive rain ducket running from one end to the other. We also have some lighting fitted on the roof for the inside. And then we have these, I want to say vents or stuff that's been welded on at either end of the coach. Again, it's all in plastic. It is detailed for the time, and it is a generic Southern styled roof, I believe, as well. But like I said, they're all the same on all of the coaches that I have from Farish. And finally, as we do an underneath look at the coaches, all these coaches are the same underneath, just like the roofs. I think it's more the bodies that are changeable. Like I said, they are generic Southern style. So we have the bogies, all plastic. They do swivel. And we have the long nose coupler as well, and it is the square one. The wheels are plastic, but the axles are metal. If you want to change them out for metal wheels, you can. On the underneath here, we don't have anything between it. It's just one moulding bit. The boxes are thin and made out of plastic. There's no supports in between, and it's hard to bend. If you press them really hard, you can't bend that bit of the coach. It is like teak underneath, plastic. We do have a made in Britain sign. I think they were made in Dorset actually. And then we have GRAFAR Limited, which is Farish. You can see some moulding marks under it, and I think where it goes in would be where the seats are. So possibly there is some seats inside, but I'm not taking mine apart. But are you really going to see the underneath of a coach or a wagon when it's running around? No. But it was good for the time, and I think it's still good now for a basic coach. Like I said, this is the same on every coach, and these were second hand. So guys, that's it on the tracks. Next up will be the coupling test, and then we're going to a mini running session, and I'll see you at the end. So here goes. Yeah, it works perfectly with the Great Central locomotive there by Sonic Models. So guys, that's the end of the review and the running session. Before I give my opinion on these, I'll tell you what was pulling the train, and that was the Sonic Models / Rails of Sheffield Great Central Railway Class 9N, or later the Lner A5. It's a Pacific tank, so I thought I'd just use it because it's a nice looking locomotive and the coaches suit it. I know it's in the Great Central livery, but It looks the part to me. I was unsure which logo to use. So on to the Coches. I got my Coches off eBay and they were £30, which works out £10 each, with a little bit of postage on top. The only thing wrong with mine is one of the buffers is missing off one of the brake coaches, but that can easily be fixed, so no issues there. For me, they look the part. I can see a little bit of Southern in them. I don't think they're to scale of the actual Southern coach they are based on, but from a distance they do look like an Lner coach. If you mix them in with a few Thompson and Gresley coaches, it'd make a nice train, if I'm honest with you. The plastic wheels, for me, make no difference. I know you have to clean your track more, but for me, they ran pretty smooth without the metal ones anyway. The couplings seem to work fine. I did test them off camera to see if they will couple up to other different styles of couplings, and yeah, they had no issues with that. I didn't show it because it would be a montage of them coupling up to different styles of couplings and people might find that a little bit boring, so I just kept it to the one, which was the Sonic's small net tension lock coupler. Like I said, these are roughly based on a Southern coach, but I'm not sure which type of Southern coach it is. And like I said, I don't think they are to scale of the actual coach they are based on. But with Hornby and Hatton's doing their 4 or 6 wheel coaches, again, they are based on a coach or coaches. There's no issues with these for me. They will make a great project for somebody if they want to add lighting, or they want to make one into a full brake, or even if they just want to practice adding buffers or even weathering to them. I do have some LMS ones, which I will review at some point in the near future, but for me as a basic coach, they are fantastic. I don't know if Bachmann still have the tooling for these or not, but they would make a great budget coach for people who can't spend the silly amounts of money that Bachmann offer for coaches or even locomotives. But that's just my opinion. I can't tell you yes or no if you should buy them or not. That's really down to your preference and budget. They do come quite regularly on eBay and Hatton's website and a few other pre-owned sites. Well, that was the end of my reviewing the Graham Farish stuff on the Lner coaches. Hopefully I'll see you in the next review. So please take care and goodbye.